everyone. What another amazing day this is, an opportunity to be with you today. I hope everything is going well and you're doing amazing on this day. First of all, let me make sure you are subscribed to this channel. If you are not subscribed to this channel, what's up with you? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so that you can get updates and get alerts absolutely every single time new content is uploaded and I am here with you. So make sure you are sharing the video with as many people as possible. And I believe it's going to benefit them greatly. Today, I'm going to talk about the power of personal evolution. And my statement to you is that you owe it to yourself to grow. When we talk about evolving, we're talking about the process of growth and development into a better and more advanced state. To evolve is simply to develop yourself gradually from within yourself through exposure and educating yourself in order that you might be able to foster the evolution of your mindset, of your habits, of your daily routines, your associations, your actions, and the entirety of your life. When I talk about evolving, evolving expresses my interest and my intrigue to be introduced to the new emerging version of myself. Now, there has to be a level of interest, there has to be a level of intrigue about what you can become. Sadly enough, most people have arrived at certain states and places in their lives, and they've simply concluded that this is the extent of what I can be, this is the extent of how far I can go. But you must maintain this certain level of interest and internal intrigue about what you can become and how great you can actually be in your life. I want to say to you, and I want you to remember this from this day on, don't just exist, evolve. Now, I want that to really sink into as many people as possible. Don't just exist, evolve. Evolving is this intentional, or rather, these intentional adjustments that you and I have to make to improve the results that our life is experiencing. And so you have to ask yourself, is what you're doing today getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow? Now, I'll give you a second. I want you to really pose this question to yourself. I want you to interrogate yourself. Is what you're doing or planning to do today going to get you any closer to where you want to be tomorrow? And if not, then you have to, of course, reevaluate your position in your life, evaluate your priorities in order to align your actions with the outcome that you are anticipating for your life. Because I want you to understand that you and I were not put on this planet to simply remain the same. We were not just birthed into the earth realm to simply remain the same. Everything in life, notice it, everything around you changes. Everything in your life is in a constant state of evolving, refining, improving, adapting, enhancing, and changing. And so as everything around you is evolving and becoming more refined and improving on itself, then likewise, you and I should get up every single day of our lives with an intent on becoming more refined. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I want to be more astute today than I was yesterday. I want to have gained more knowledge today than I did yesterday. And so your life is in a constant state of having to adjust, to adapt in order to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Unfortunately, most people that I talk to countless people during the week, and it is apparent to me that most people don't understand how essential, how absolutely essential personal evolving is in their life. Unfortunately, most people generally opt to continue to live stagnant, mediocre lives, oftentimes not because they don't have the potential to do any more, but they often opt to live these mundane, mediocre lives simply because the people that are around them criticize their want for more. And they criticize them because they want better for them lives. And so consequently, most choose to just stay the same in order that they might keep the same crowd. But when you begin to evolve, you actually are going to find that you're going to find yourself moving out of alignment with certain people around you. And most people feel this sense of guilt for not being who they always were to people. And but the reality of it is the whenever you start feeling guilty about evolving and you stop being who you've always been to people and for people, then you get to a point where you betray your own growth just to retain the company you've always had. And hear me, ladies and gentlemen, you never want to betray your own progress by digressing and reattaching yourselves to people and places and things and habits and proclivities that you've already outgrown. And so you don't want to betray your forward progress by your addiction to the familiar. You would be incredibly surprised as to how many people will not support your attempt at evolving. Now, I'm not talking about simply your enemies or people who wish ill will on you, but the reality of it is, even your family and some of your friends will perhaps hold you in contempt because of your want to change. But here's my declaration, and I'm going to share it with you, and maybe you can use it as sort of a mantra for you, particularly going into new seasons, new years. If you can't evolve with me, then you cannot be involved with me. Point blank. That's it. Nothing else needs to be said. No further explanation. You have to, from this point on, begin to give the disclaimer to everybody in your life and say, listen, if you cannot evolve with me, then you cannot be involved with me. I will not have any involvement in this chapter of my life with anybody who does not want to evolve or has a problem with my intent on evolving. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to stop connecting with people who are making no conscious efforts to grow, change, and evolve. No longer can you just simply attach yourselves strictly on the basis of physical attractions. No, I have to attach myself and come into covenant and alignment with individuals who are making conscious efforts to grow, change, and ultimately evolve. Because becoming who you are supposed to be isn't simply about just arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim, a certain goal, or a certain mile marker in your life, but it's about forward motion. It's a way to reach continuously toward a better self. Please hear me. As you're going into new years, new chapters, new seasons, new relationships, new opportunities, you have to be very concentrated on making forward motion. And you have to make your aim, your objective, the source of your objective is to reach a point where you are your better self. Your objective, hear me, your assignment from this point on has to be that I'm getting ready to evolve so drastically that those who thought they knew me have to get to know me all over again. Because I'm not the same individual. I don't have the same mindset. I don't have the same, necessarily the same focus, necessarily even the same goals that I do now as I did when I was in an immature state or when I wasn't as deeply invested in a better outcome and a better future for my life. So, ladies and gentlemen, hear me. The question is, how long are you going to be imprisoned by others' negative talk about your desire to grow and evolve? Stop allowing the naysayers and their negativity to have such gross impact on your movement and your desire to be in a better state, a better status, and a better place in life, that you allow what they say to sidetrack you and disrupt the traction that you've already been gaining. Let me tell you, you have gained so much ground that it would literally be perhaps one of the greatest regrets of your life if you just allow the negative talk people are spewing out of their mouths concerning your intent and your intrigue about a better version of yourself and a better future. Please hear me. You are under no obligation to be the same person you were a year ago, a month ago, a week ago, or even a day ago. You have to free yourself to embrace the limitless possibilities that are before you now. You got to get up every day, look yourself in the mirror, and know that you are an endless project, changing, evolving, and surprising, even shocking. Because when people see what you become and people see what you are going to emerge as, it's going to leave a lot of people shocked because there are countless people who have written you off. They still smile in your face. They still call and check on you, but they've written you off. They're just calling to check in to see is their timeline, their predicted timeline, accurate. Well, he should be done by now. She should have fallen apart by now, but yet you keep living, you keep growing, you keep advancing, you keep adapting, you keep adjusting, you keep changing. And it's going to shock a lot of people. But whatever you do at any cost, you have to keep evolving because every single day of your life, hear me when I tell you, there is a decision that you have to make. And that decision is, are you going to evolve or are you going to repeat? Or are you going to evolve or simply keep revolving around the same path that's proven to be unproductive? Or are you going to keep revolving around the same peer group that's not yielding any productivity? They're not enhancing your life in any kind of way. And so your decision is, am I going to evolve or am I going to simply keep repeating the same things, expecting something differently to happen? That's the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over and over again and to expect a different result. It's like reading the same book over and over again, expecting a different ending. It doesn't work that way. You got to pick up a new book, start reading a new narrative to see a different ending, right? And so whenever you're on a quest to improve your life, you can't allow anyone to infringe upon that goal. You will, now this is going to be shocking, but it's necessary for you to hear it ahead of time so that you don't become disillusioned when it happens. And that is, you're getting ready to evolve certain people, evolve past certain people. My advice is to let yourself. Stop restricting and restraining your movement because you don't want to get ahead of everybody else. Stop dumbing down who you are to make insignificant people feel comfortable or just to retain your spot in a group of people who are doing nothing more than average, nothing noteworthy, nothing notable. But ladies and gentlemen, you must embrace the necessity of mind and thought expansion. Every new level of your life will demand a different version of you. The you now will not be ideally situated for the you a year from now. You have to keep evolving and evolving and evolving. And as you evolve, your life's experiences become more expansive, they become greater, and they become more enjoyable in your life. Now, it is critical that every one of you understands that evolving does not simply happen haphazardly. It's the result of an intentional act of demanding it of yourself. You got to get up every single day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I expect the best out of you today. There will be no slacking. There will be no distracting. There will be no veering off course because we have a timeline. We have an objective. We have a goal. We have ambitions that we have to complete, that we have to be successful at. And so it means that you got to get up every day and demand it out of yourself. You have to demand more out of you than anybody else you know in your life. Yes, you have coaches and mentors and people that are pushing you and prodding you, but you got to get up every day and want it more than anybody else in your life. You got to get up with this internal drive, this resilience, this undaunted passion about progress, about prosperity, about productivity, about longevity in your life that you demanded out of yourself each and every day. Because at the end of the day, your life will rise and fall based on your decision, your deliberate intent, and your deliberate action. In fact, evolving, ladies and gentlemen, for the most part, is an acceptable selfish act because the goal is really not to exclusively or primarily evolve for anyone else's sake. You're evolving for yourself. Evolving says that I am purposely creating a better version of myself for me. I want to be better. It'd be one thing if I knew I didn't have the capacity or the intellect or the ingenuity to do so. But just the mere fact of me knowing that I could, if I chose to, if I committed myself to doing it, if I invested everything I had into becoming everything I want to be, then life would change like that. That's powerful. If you invested everything you had into being who you wanted to be, your life would begin to shift. The trajectory of your life would begin to literally blow your mind. The whole landscape of your life will change for you socially, economically, in every aspect of your life. If you begin to invest what you have into being the person that you want to be. Now, you begin to understand that when I am evolving, it involves a few things. One of the things that it involves is that you have to become consciously aware of your infinite capacity for being and evolving. You have to be consciously aware. You'll never advance beyond your level of self-awareness. Now let that sink in for a moment. Because it doesn't matter what I see in you and what I know about you intuitively, what I see you have the potential to become. But life doesn't evolve and you don't advance in life until you develop this conscious awareness of your infinite capacity for being and evolving. It means that there is nothing I can't do when I put my mind to it, when I align my focus in accordance with my future, when I make the necessary sacrifices, investments to improve every arena of my life. But you can't evolve, you can't accelerate your life beyond your conscious awareness of your capacity for being and evolving. If I'm going to evolve, not only that, but the second thing is you have to have a criteria for who you are going to interact with. Because some people will hold you in contempt just because you attempt to be more than they are comfortable with you being. Now, that is powerful. That will break some bondages mentally, some chains mentally that you've been held by when you realize that some of the negative consequences of your life have been because you haven't set the right type of criteria for who you're going to have interaction with in your life. Some people are, they should get a wave and you keep moving. There are other people who it would behoove you to have more of an in-depth interaction because of their insight, their intellect, the in-depthness of their experience. And so you have to have a criteria for who you're going to interact with because there are going to be some people who are going to hold you in contempt just because you attempt to be more than they're comfortable with your being. But the question is, why are you caring so much? At this point, you probably figured out that they're not doing anything for you. They're not making any kind of investment in you. So why are you giving this much credence to the contempt that others hold over you simply because you are attempting to do something? As your life evolves, hear me, so should your circle. If you're evolving and everyone else around you isn't, you are creating a contentious and conflict filled environment that you will never be able to thrive in. Now, I'm gonna give you that for free. I'm not gonna charge you a dime for that. The problem is that you're evolving and you are submitting yourself to the processes of personal evolution. But the people around you are dead set on being where they've always been, very, very comfortable, very, very content. And the problem is when you're doing the evolving and the people around you aren't, it's going to create a contentious and a conflict filled environment that you'll never be able to thrive in. In fact, you won't thrive until your departure. There's some places that it's going to be so epic how things change. The moment you leave is the moment you start thriving. Because as long as you stay there, you'll never be able to thrive. Your esteem is always going to take unnecessary hits. You'll never see yourself futuristically. You'll always see yourself in the posture, in the position that you've always been in. Because there are people who have a tendency to believe that you're always going to be who you always were. And so now, out of everybody that believes that, you cannot be numbered among the ones who believe that. You have to be of the persuasion that, yes, this is where I started, but this is not where I'm going to end. This is where I was raised, but it doesn't have any bearing on how I'm going to raise my kids or how I'm going to facilitate my child's future. Because the reality of it is that you will never be able to thrive, flourish, be successful, have fulfillment, feel at peace within yourself as long as you are in environments that are contentious and or conflict filled. People hold you in contempt for no other reason than you've decided I'm going to attempt to do something different than I've ever done in my entire life. And so if I'm going to evolve and I'm going to allow this better version of myself to emerge, then I have to be consciously aware of my infinite capacity to being and evolving. Number two, I have to develop criteria for who I'm going to interact with. Number three, you must issue evictions to people who have no convictions. It's powerful. You must issue evictions to people who have no convictions. Here's why. If they have no convictions, chances are they will never be a major contributing factor in you applying yourself to fulfill the convictions and the dreams and the desires that you have for yourself. Anybody who doesn't have any personal conviction, something that they got to get up every day to do, something that they have to give, something that they have in them that's got to be said, something that is embedded within their spirit that's got to be heard, then you got to give evictions to them because they're going to suffocate your environment of creativity. They're never going to be supportive. They're never going to push you in moments where exhaustion will seem to take over and you get frustrated. You got to have somebody to say, if you don't get your butt back up, go ahead, get you some water, take your little breather. Matter of fact, shut everything down for the day, but I want to see you bright and early tomorrow. Let's get back to it. You've got more life to live. You've got more things to accomplish, and you have more dreams to see fulfilled in your life. But you have to issue evictions to every person that's trying to connect with you or either are presently connected to you that don't have any conviction. Because if they don't have any conviction, then they're already revealing to you that they will not be contributors to the next phase of your success in life. And so it means I have to eliminate people, places, patterns that don't enlighten me, don't expand me, don't enhance me, don't educate me as a person. It doesn't provide me with a healthy perspective of who I am, and it doesn't point me in a more beneficial direction. And so if I'm going to make the decision and be determined to personally involve, let me say this to you until it gets into your mind, your spirit. You owe it to yourself to grow. How long are you going to be satisfied being in the same place year after year after year? Keep saying next year is going to be my year. Well, you've already created a pattern where you seemingly have no problem wasting 12 months at a time. 12 months turn into 24, 24 turn into 36. And before you know it, it's 5 years, 10 years, decades are passing you by simply because you have not become convinced enough that you owe it to yourself to grow. If you would ever make the decision to grow every single day of your life, I have a passion for it. I said it to you before and I'll say it to you again. If you go to bed tonight and you don't know any more than you did yesterday, you should feel like you cheated yourself, right? I have a goal. I want to learn something new every day. I don't care if it's a new website. I don't care if it's a new lingo. I don't care if it's a new way of processing payments. Whatever it is, I have to learn something new every day because at some point, when you keep letting 24 hours pass here, 24 hours pass there, and you're not gleaning from life or people who have experience in life, then you're simply on the planet wasting time. And ladies and gentlemen, time is something that you can't trade goods to get any more of. You can't say, well, I'll give you, $500 for 3 more days. It doesn't work like that. All you have is what you have. And what you have is determined by what you make of it. You got to get up every day of your life and say, I'm evolving. I'm reading something today. I'm watching a video today. I'm doing something that's going to enhance me, that's going to embellish me, that's going to ultimately cause personal evolution in my life. The question to you is, what are you going to do today? For some of you, you're already starting out. You're already on a good start. You're right here with me. You're hearing me. You're listening. You're taking notes. You're processing it. You're going to reprogram your mind. And you're going to take these principles and you're going to apply them. And you're getting ready to see significant results in your life. But you owe it to yourself to grow. Stop cheating you. Because when you cheat you, you're cheating your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. You're cheating everything that comes after you. It doesn't matter what happened before you. What does matter is, what are you going to do now? So what? You didn't have the ideal family to grow up in. Well, you create that one for your family, your kids. So what? You didn't have the supportive kind of parents. You be that supportive kind of parent. Because evolving requires that you are present in every day, preparing for the next day. It requires that you are present in every single day, preparing for the next. And I believe that if you begin to take these principles and insights and work them, you're going to see significant results like you have never seen before in your entire life. Where are you going to start? What are you going to do today to put yourself in a better position tomorrow? It doesn't matter what hour it is now. It doesn't matter what coast you're on. It doesn't matter the time zone. What matters is that you make the decision to evolve. Evolving means I'm going to execute some things, put some things in place. It also means I'm going to eliminate some things that have been toxic, things that have been distracting, things that have been causing the deterioration of certain dreams and visions I once had. But starting today, I want you to realize that you owe it to yourself to grow. Your personal evolution is your key to next level expansion in life. Well, I'm out of time for this session. And I hope this has greatly benefited you. I want you to go back, rehearse it, replay it, rewatch it, take notes and notes and notes until something ignites in you, that you're ready to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be. All right? Don't forget to share this with somebody. Don't forget, if you have not subscribed to this channel, what's up with you? This is the place where you get tools, strategies, insights for successfully living, loving, and leading. Don't forget to go to my website, henrybolden.com. Pick up some resources there at the bookstore What's so great about you? If you don't have it yet, what's up with that? Get it, read it. It's a blueprint for every person. I recommend it to every single person who's ever wanted, do I have purpose? Where do I fit? Where do I start? The answers are in this book. What's so great about you? It's in paperback. It's also in a downloadable version. Also, I have a book of 50 inspirational quotes and affirmations that I use, that I teach to people around the world. It's called You Can Quote Me on This. You can go right now and download it. It's going to be a blessing to your life. All right? Always remember, success has a formula, and I want to be the one that shows it to you. I will see you on next time.